Peace and welcome to Behind the Bleeps and Bloops. Today we have 5 interesting facts about video game music. If you have any facts for a future episode, let us know and we might put them in our next B&B episode. For now, we will get right into episode 14 of Behind the Bleeps and Bloops. Number 5. The most original pieces of music in a video game, including expansions. When you see games like Final Fantasy VII that have a 4-disc soundtrack, or ones like Final Fantasy XIV that have well over 300 songs, you may think of the game with the most original tracks. And if you do, well then let me inform you. RuneScape takes the title. First released in January 2001, RuneScape has held the record since 2017. Coming from the Guinness Book of World Records on July 25th of 2017, RuneScape had a total of 1,198 individual songs, all composed specifically for the game. Games like GTA have a massive soundtrack, but they are just pop songs that were previously released and now licensed for the game. But RuneScape is all original. There were multiple composers involved and many different people, anywhere from folk bands to a full-fledged orchestra. The lead composer, Ian Taylor, in an interview I found on lacedrecords.com, stated that he sometimes forgets recording some of the songs on the soundtrack. But with this many themes in RuneScape, can you really blame him? One thing he can remember was the very first one he wrote, and it's titled Harmony. The 500th track is Tournament, which was released on November 20th, 2007. The 1000th track is Book of a Thousand Songs, which was released on August 4th, 2014. As of September 3rd, 2018, there are 1,243 music tracks available via the music player. Number 4. The most prolific beat-em-up video game composer. I am sure this one comes as no surprise to many. Yuzo has been around for years and specializes in Sega beat-em-up games. He has composed for some of the all-time great games of the genre. The most well-known would obviously be the Streets of Rage series, including the newly released Streets of Rage 4, in which Yuzo did some tracks for. And this game is recommended by everyone in Uncanny X who has played it so far. It's unanimous. Some of his other work includes The Revenge of Shinobi, in which I can gladly say that I purchased the vinyl album. This one is another Guinness World Record. With over 90 tracks composed for beat-em-up games, this record was before Streets of Rage 4, so this number is even higher now. Yuzo started to learn the piano from his mother when he was 3 years old, and by the time he was the age of 5, he was already a competent player. Around the age of 8, he took music lessons for 3 years from film composer Joe Hisaishi, who would later become known for his work for Studio Ghibli. Since then, Yuzo has established himself as one of the top chiptune composers of all. He is often regarded as one of the most influential innovators in chiptune and video game music. Number 3. Ridge Racer and the CD of your choice. Back when PS1 was the main Sony console, one of the better racing games on the console was Ridge Racer. The graphics may not hold up the best today, but this was above average for the time. One interesting fact about this game is that the game only needed to load once. The entire game would be loaded into the PlayStation's RAM, eliminating all loading and allowing the player to remove the game and use the PlayStation as a CD player. So after the initial loading screen, you can remove the game and put in any music CD of your choice. You could even put in a video game soundtrack. Try playing Ridge Racer with the music from Parappa the Rapper, for example.
Alright, we're here, just sitting in the car. I want you to show me if you can get far. Step on the gas. Step on the gas. Step on the brakes.
Or you could always drive around and listen to some Tenchu music.
Next corner, go! Watch yourself!
The only bad part is it won't read every song on the CD. The game only has 6 tracks to choose from, so it will only read 6 tracks on whatever CD you put in. Number 2. The longest piece of original music for a video game. Coming from Echo Chrome 2, a PlayStation 3 game that was released on December 21st of 2010. This game takes a unique approach to the music. Rather than have a unique and pre-selected theme for each stage, Echo Chrome 2 plays this 75-minute piece of music continuously. Each approach has their positives and negatives. For example, one approach allows you to become familiar with the piece of music that goes along with a certain stage. But it also means if you are stuck on a part of the game, you will be hearing the same piece of music again and again. The other approach won't pair the gameplay with the music, but then it won't be on repeat if you happen to get stuck. Composed and arranged by Hideki Sakamoto, he has worked various jobs on many different games, including Shinobi-Do, Bloodstained, Castlevania Judgment, Yakuza 2 and 3, along with many more games. The first game he composed for was Juggernaut for the PlayStation 1. I read on Wiki that the game was poorly received due in part to the visuals and lackluster story. However, the music and sound effects were praised by fans and critics of the game, and this is no surprise. His latest work as of making this video comes from Dragon Ball. Released on January 17, 2020, he has now been working on music in video games in one form or another for 22 years. Number 1. The first video game soundtrack album. On April 25th, 1984, Haruomi Hosono released the first generally recognized video game soundtrack album titled Video Game Music. The album was originally released on LP, cassette, and 8-track formats. It was later re-recorded for release on CD in 1999 and 2002. The album contains music from 10 different video games, including Pac-Man, Mappy, Pole Position, Dig Dug, Galaga, and more. The work on the album has songs from 3 different composers, with all of the tracks being arranged by Haruomi Hosono. Hosono is a popular musician in the country of Japan. In an article by HMV Japan, he was ranked number 44 on the top 100 Japanese pop artists, which interestingly enough is 1 spot higher than Dreams Come True. They clocked in at number 45. And the producer for that band is none other than one of my personal favorite composers of all, Masato Nakamura, the same composer of the Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 soundtracks. Hosono has almost 40 albums to his credit since he started in 1969, along with countless other work. His resume is vast and he is still active to this day. One of the all-time greats and one of the innovators who helped video game music into the mainstream. Nowadays, the used vinyl record can cost easily over $100, as it is a collector's piece when it comes to video game soundtracks. I myself would love to own a copy of it. So there you have just a simple and quick B&B episode. Check back next week for Oddly Familiar episode 42, the original series. Last but not least, we need to give a huge shout out to our gold level patrons, Bearsona 11 and Quantum X. We appreciate it and never take it for granted. I'm ICC. Thanks for watching. Peace.